Hello and welcome to IBTimes UK. This week, Credit Suisse revealed that 1% of the population owns half of the world's wealth as the gap between rich and poor keeps growing. We met Max Lawson, Head of Global Campaign at Oxfam, to discuss measures that can effectively tackle extreme inequality, which the NGO warned is at present out of control.
We're seeing levels of inequality that we haven't seen for more than a century, and things are getting worse each year. And something has to be done. It's really bad for rich countries, it's bad for poor countries too. It means that the middle classes are not able to earn enough money, it means that the wealth is not being spread around, and it's bad for the global economy to have that much money in so few hands. 7 out of 10 people are living in a country where inequality is getting worse. To give you an example, some countries like South Africa, a country which we think of as the country that shook off the shackles of apartheid, where you had white people ruling over black people, is now far, far more unequal than it was when it got rid of apartheid. Countries like China are getting more unequal by the day. Countries like India are incredibly, incredibly unequal, but also the poorest countries in the world, in Africa and in Asia too. So it's not just a rich country story. We're seeing across the world the gap between rich and poor growing very, very rapidly, and the incomes of ordinary people stagnating.
In 2014, Oxfam launched the campaign Even It Up, aimed at tackling extreme inequality and reducing the widening gap between rich and poor. According to the charity, tackling tax havens and promoting higher wages will help reduce poverty and boost economies in several countries where hundreds of thousands of people do not have access to clean water, food, health services and education.
You're seeing situations where billionaires are paying levels of tax that are lower than people like street cleaners or secretaries. That's crazy. I mean, why should a cleaner on the street be paying a higher rate of tax than Warren Buffett or Bill Gates? We need to see rich people paying their taxes. We need to see a closure of tax havens. Quite often, hundreds of billions of dollars are hidden away in these tax havens, hidden away from the eyes of the taxman. They could be spent on schools, on hospitals, they could be spent on restarting growth in our economies. The other way that we can focus on extreme inequality is to look at wages instead of growth in people's capital. So you're looking at people's income from work is lower. They're not seeing their wages grow, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Mexico, or whether it's in Africa. So we need to see an investment in raising wages, because that means people can go out and spend on goods in shops. It drives growth in the economy. Let's face it, there's a limit to how many silk sheets someone can buy. You can only have 2 or 3 super yachts, surely. I mean, the world cannot survive on super yachts alone. You've got to stop giving all the money to billionaires. It's got to be the hands of ordinary people and working people that deserve a living wage instead of billionaires' bank accounts.